Hello everyone, welcome to 100 Days in RLCraft. Credit to Luke the Notable for the 100 Days idea. Now, don't forget to subscribe, like, and if you want to help out a small channel, go and leave a comment and suggest the video. Just say good vid or say bad vid. It'll tell me something to improve on. Open for suggestions here. I survive 100 days in RLCraft and try to defeat the Ender Dragon and Wither by the end of it. Pretty simple. Pretty fun. In these 100 days, I start on a crazy powerful farm I want to make in the future, and other things, as well as I almost get one of the best swords in the game. But you'll see what happens with that later. So to start out the 100 days in RLCraft, I almost get blown up by a blastum fruit. I then kill a few chickens and take out an abandoned battle tower after killing them. Next, Day 2, I continued on, mined some iron and a bunch more iron. I then see my first dragon later, and I get jumped by a Geonash while destroying his home. Like, come on man, just let me do it. And I do believe I die. But, thanks to my quick thinking, I tab out and then get stabbed because that helped me. I found a cool advanced knockback 5 villager, but that's all. Which kind of is annoying because that could have been anything from like advanced sharpness to anything else. I decided to lock up the villager, but I'm going to find a lot more. Because in RLCraft, oh, I almost suffocated the villager, but in RLCraft, there's different seeds have different, or different types of things that get it sold by villagers. Whatever. And advanced knockback 5 is like really bad because I mean it just sends them flying. It doesn't like help my damage or anything. And also it's removed from the game, I believe. I almost die here to a skeleton headshotting me, but I survived because of my leather helmet. And I move on to loot the other dungeon. I try and cheese it because I found 2 of these, which is really good because these are good dungeons to find, but I didn't have a flying mount, and I end up falling in here and getting stabbed to death by a guy east in the second one, and somehow I don't make the parkour. I kill that voting geese. I don't realize that I can just jump off the spawner, but whatever. I die. I go back to get my stuff. It's not too difficult. And after valiantly fighting away all the mobs, aka just stealing all the things from outside of the fence, I managed to get all my stuff back, or at least almost all of it. Then later on day 4, I tame a rock. After getting jumped by a weird bug creature, I get to tame the rock. Next I die to getting tag teamed by 2 skeletons, so I sleep the night away, but recover my items and loot a few chests. Luckily I'm able to get most of my stuff back, but I get some good enchantment books and glowing ingots, which are very important to make a dragon's eye, which is the way you kill dragons in RLCraft. Now I need to be careful here while I was leveling up my skills. Got to wear diamond armor, but I got a Ring of Regeneration, and Vexes can one-shot me, as you can see. But I luckily was able to get the Ring of Regeneration back, which is overpowered for RLCraft, because you can't heal naturally. You have to use special bandages and stuff, or really OP enchants on swords. But I didn't have any of that, so it was really useful to have. I mean, it would be more useful in the end game because I won't get one-shot by everything. But yes, I continue on for day 7, looting more chests, getting a lot of heart crystal shards, which once I get my magic to 8 are useful because I can level up my max health. I then craft an atlas, the first of many, and I continue to fly off and explore. I get my magic to 8 so I can use heart crystals, Next, I go adventuring into the unknown and find an ice dragon. Go and mark it, and head off to not get absolutely obliterated by it once it starts flying. I loot a battle tower, and I'm able to soulbind by arc, and I find a waypoint, which ends up being important later on, as you will see. I notice an ice dragon as I come up here, and while I'm escaping from it, I get jumped by this fire dragon. And he kills the rock, which means I'm pretty much dead. So I bravely pause the game to see if I can somehow figure out one way to survive. It doesn't work. So I just die. But I get my stuff back and continue on looting battle towers and such. And I get punched up by a skeleton, which that's a new experience for me. Didn't know skeletons punched you, but now they do, which just makes them like 20 times easier to fight in RLCraft, because the danger is they can headshot you and one-shot you. Okay, day 13 I go exploring and I find a witch dungeon, and after getting my rock in the air, I find exactly one witch in it, which happens to be a super ultra witch of absolute death and destruction. Now that I think about it, I possibly could have killed it, just looking at what buffs it had, but I didn't. So, I recall potion out of there, and I'm chilling back at the waypoint, very far away from where I was last, and I use a fishing rod trick to send the golem flying and loot stuff from it. That's what I've been doing before. You fishing rod the golem while you're on your mount or something, or just up in the air, and when you come close to it, all the like knockback that has been stored up, he goes flying. It's great, really funny. Loot a bunch of towers, which is pretty cool, and I loot a dead dragon body and put my head inside of its mouth, because that's fun. Next, day 14, I loot a glowstone underwater things, and I get some decent loot. I pretty much go looting for a lot of this, and I don't. If I ever have loot, I probably got it from a peaceful structure or something. To start out day 15, I find a city in the sky with a golden block in it, but I only have a stone pick, so I leave defeated. Luckily, things get better, as I find a village called Madama, something of the sorts, and I continue to go exploring through the house that will be mine for the rest of these 100 days. While I'm exploring around, I find another 4-tower dungeon, which is pretty good because, as you know, insane loot. So I go and loot it from my mount, get some decent enough enchantments, and I will return here later to try and clean out the whole dungeon. While I'm here, I end up grabbing a few totems of undying from some chests, which is pretty useful because I'm gonna die a lot. So and later that day, or on day 16, I find a big castle. I don't remember what they're called, but I grabbed the lapis table after exploring it on day 17 and get some decent enough loot. And then later on day 17, I will find another village after getting jump scared by a massive tiger who seemed to not like me. I don't know why. I'm friendly. I mean, the man was just mad that I was too cool. So while finding this other village, I find a nice dark oak oasis village, which is always good. And I grab a few decent books from it, some plot 4 I believe, and grind some XP from days 18 to 20, mostly flying above the sea and taking out these small pirate ships, because they have 7 spawners in them, and the spawners rarely ever end up spawning anything except for 2 of them. And while I'm in here, I'm being surrounded by a sea serpent, which is making tons of noise. And I continue to wipe out the pirate ship. Sadly, day 20, while I am trying to take out a broken battle tower, skeletons absolutely destroy me with 3 headshots, causing me to use my totem, and then 1 shots me through 4 absorption hearts. Because that makes sense. Luckily, I use a grave scroll that I had stored up and get my stuff back. And then from day 22, I set up an enchantment table and store all of my grave scrolls and stuff in my rock, so I don't need to go and look around for the items again before I die. And you should follow these signs. I get a Vampirism 2 Diamond Rapier, which is pretty good for passive healing. And then on 26 to 28, I was clearing out the 4 tower dungeon, but lost the footage for it. And a Blight Vindicator just jumps in and 2-taps me. Great. Luckily using my massive cranium, I'm able to lure the Blight Vindicator away. And after him going absolutely Super Saiyan trying to kill me while I was flying and he wasn't, I get him stuck in some water, so he's not a threat anymore. And eventually he's gone after I try and come back and finish him up. I think he despawns. Pretty sad. Would be useful to have a Blight Vindicator kill. But day 30, after looting my stuff, I didn't get my Ring of Regen, but I got my sword and I get the Dragon's Eye. Now day 31, I did some enchanting and went adventuring. By the end of the day, I found another 4 tower dungeon, which my luck has been insane for finding these, as I've played on a few other worlds and I've found like 3 on them after exploring for a very long time. I used some TNT I looted from the Creeper room to make the Witch room go kaboom, and there was no more witches. There actually was. It didn't break, it only broke like half the spawners, but we deal with that. 33 to 34, I did some more dungeon things and went home to repair my items. Day 35, I fought my first dragons and nothing was recording. 36 I got 2 pretty epic books. I got them from a small battle tower where I got punched by the skeletons. I got it from one of those. And now while I'm fighting a dragon here, second dragon fight, maybe 3rd dragon fight. I believe this one's the 3rd, and all of them got absolutely just wasn't recording. Pretty sad. End of the footage got corrupted. Anyways, I'm able to take out the dragon, and I almost die a few times, but I clean him up. He's good. Well, I finished him off. Wasn't too difficult, though kind of loud. Though I forgot to loot the body, and I may or may not return to collect it a few days later. Now, me and a fire dragon melt down an ice battle tower because we were bored, as I try and kill him. So the entire ice battle tower just turns into a water battle tower, and I go and finish off the fire dragon pretty easily. He was kind of weak after just me stabbing him a lot. But this was the dragon who first killed me and made me lose a lot of my items and my first atlas. And I get dragon armor on day 37. Day 38, I do a drive-by kit in the app of the sheep because I want to find, but sadly, the sheep dies while fighting a battle tower golem, and after taking out the golem, I go and find the poor dead body of my sheep after jumping off a massive tree to see what if I could find its remains, and I send the sheep to heaven with my expert throwing arm. Alright, day 39 to 40, I go and explore for XP and stuff, and 41, I cheese a purple dungeon with 1 Aegis. The boss, I mean, it's not too good, and I get a shade from it. Pretty easy. I get a soul stone, and the shade comes from it, and the shade was useful because it's a pretty big pack mule. From 32 to 42 to 43, I craft an iron paxel, which is a pickaxe, axe, and shovel. And 45, I trade with villagers and buy an advanced knockback 5 book because I can. Then I get luck from the magical cows in the floor and manage to get education 2, which is 1 under what I was looking for at the time, which was education 3. And I spend the rest of the day trying to get M's because I spent them all on advanced KB5 thing. Now, day 46, I make a advanced knockback 5 wooden sword, except sadly it's entirely useless because they nerfed it to advanced knockback 2, which isn't too good. And 46, I light some TNT and things go boom. Pretty simple, pretty fun. Had a bit of chaos, didn't get any good ores from the mines or anything, but it was fun, and I had TNT, and ain't nobody gonna stop me. So day 47 to 48, I was busy enchanting my swords when I got jumped by Zeus's minions from the tsunami thing, which spawned in a bunch of Jangus and lightning zephyrs, I believe. So I tested out my advanced knockback 5 wooden sword, except it was advanced knockback 2, because advanced knockback 5 was removed from RLCraft. And so yeah, I went and killed a few of the zephyrs and stuff. Wasn't too difficult, and gave me tons of XP, as this was my first lots of mobs I killed with my education 3 sword. Or I don't know if this sword had education 3 at the time. I still got a lot of XP from it, and I was pretty much stuck in one place the whole time because of paralyzing. And 49, I took out another part of a 4-tower dungeon. And 50, I got an advanced efficiency 5 villager, but didn't have enough M's for it. And then he died to a zombie while I slept. I also bought a book called Pandora's Curse, which just had nothing on it, which was pretty sad. I'm not gonna lie. Though, sadly, I was a bit broke from emeralds at the time, so I couldn't get the advanced efficiency 5, and a zombie killed it. Yeah, it's kind of sad. 52, I made a shed for storage and all my stuff, because, I mean, I needed a place that wasn't the villager house, so I just made a wooden box that looked decent enough. And now that on day 52 I have a clock, so I can tell what day it is. Day 53 to 54, I did some enchants, level up my skills, and at the end of day 54, I fought a dragon. I mean, went pretty well. He kind of died in 2 seconds, but I fought a dragon nonetheless. Another dragon, I think this was maybe my 4th or 5th. I don't know. And on day 55, I made a flame dragonbone halberd, and I made a flame dragonbone saber, which was pretty useful. Now I can deal tons of damage. The halberd deals like 20 damage by itself. A pretty crazy weapon. Now next on day 57. Oh, I got lucky enough to get legendary as the halberd's quality, which was pretty useful for stabbing things. Day 57, combined more enchants, trying to make the best book I could, and make my sword the best it could be. That was all for that. For those days, I was looking for enchants, getting XP, and pretty much everything else. Now, day 60, I finally remembered to loot the dead dragon body. I entirely forgot that was still there, because I was low when I fought this dragon, so I got chased off by the elementals that spawned, and so I just forgot everything, and I just left everything there because I didn't need it. We're gonna give a whip in chat for the dragon, and I picked up my crafting rune stash from all the crafting runes I gathered while exploring. It was in a glowstone thing near a village I'd found. Then later, a dragon was sleeping, and so I went and stabbed it in the back. He died pretty easily. I've gotten more experience at fighting a dragon, and it had one of the best swords in the game right now, I believe, or almost. No, yeah, this was the best sword in the game, which I mean, pretty cool. Next, on day 62, I went and took down a big battle tower dungeon. I don't entirely know the names of them, but I'm pretty sure it's called a big battle tower dungeon. You go in through the top. It has a bunch. It's all covered in obsidian walls. So you go in through the top, take out the vex spawners, and then I didn't need to, but I did just cheese the thing. It was because there was a full diamond blight wither skeleton, which probably would have absolutely destroyed me, and my mobs just wouldn't attack it for some reason, which was very annoying. So I continued on cheesing the dungeon for the rest of day 62. I was hoping for, I didn't get insane loot. I was hoping for a Ring of Regen or Ring of the Fairies, which lets me fly, but I didn't get any of that, sadly. So I just cheesed the dungeon, but I did get a decent bit of XP, and I got a few XP dumps. Alright, day 63, I fight the rest of the big battle tower, and I go and test out all of my crafting runes to make sure that they are pretty good. I find a few gems that are useful for talismans and the golem boots, but no full talismans and no other golem things. So the runes went okay-ish. And the only talisman I found was the heat talisman, which is not a good talisman. Day 65, I ended up losing my sword to a tier 5 dragon I was going to fight, and losing the footage. Sadly, I dropped my best sword in the game. I worked pretty hard on getting it, aka got really lucky to find it. Anyways, I lost it because I summoned some minions, which attacked a skeleton that had the enchantment sticky, so I was holding my sword, and it made me drop it into the dragon den. And then the minions went and woke up the dragon, and he fried my sword to a billion pieces. So that wasn't too good. But I went back, I went home and created another sword, as you can see. And I went and fought the dragon. It was slightly difficult without having a decent sword, but luckily I had leech, so I had lifesteal, because I killed some chupacabras with my sword, and they gave me the cooked meat, which gives me leech, which is great. It was a good thing I remembered that, otherwise I would have so been dead to the dragon. Next, day 66, I went exploring and to find red sand, and it takes all the way up to day 70, I do believe, and I finally find it. And I believe that was one of the last pieces for my golem boots I was trying to make. Now, day 66 to 70 after finding the stand, I went and crafted my golem boots, which wasn't too difficult. I mean, I just need to get red sand, that was the difficult part of it. And I had the best boots in the game. Well, unless I updated Ice and Fire, which I didn't in this playthrough. From the west of day 71, I went to get XP and enchants from a roguelike dungeon, I believe. Because the mobs there have very powerful armor. And I get the Obsidian Breaker upgrade because I needed it to break the obsidian to get to the blaze spawner. And the special event Sea Storm happens while I'm in the dungeon. So there's birds in the dungeon. It really didn't make it that much more difficult. A few times I got a bit low because of powerful mobs and stuff. But the reason I eventually ended up needing to leave the dungeon was because I blocked off my water like an absolute idiot. And if you didn't know, swinging your sword makes your water, or makes your thirst go down. So if I don't have water, I can't drink after, and so I can't swing my sword, because the more you attack, the more your water goes down. Whatever. It's actually a pretty cool mechanic though. Alright, next, day 75 to 77, I wiped out a 4-tower dungeon. It's pretty difficult, but I'm able to do it easily enough. And I end the dungeon with 63 XP levels, starting a new age of Mega Longbow, where I am now able to have pretty much infinite XP because of just the amount of XP I have. I put it all in an XP tome, and since XP tomes are proportional, then it's really useful because I just have, I believe I got nearly 20 full XP tomes from this, which means 20 level 30s. Very overpowered. So, these dungeons, if you're ever playing RLCraft, just take them out pretty quickly if you have good stuff. Sadly, this dungeon was kind of glitchy. It had blocks that didn't spawn in, so you need to like right click them with something in your hand and they'll return to the block they're supposed to be. Luckily for me, I could see where the hidden spawners were because of this, so the dungeon was easier to clear out. Also, killing all the mobs is sometimes better than getting the spawners, but I didn't have mending on all my armor pieces. Mostly I didn't have mending on my legs, and I didn't want to have to switch into another pair of new pants, so I just decided to break the spawners instead of fight the mobs. I got a few totems of undying, which was nice, and that was mostly all the loot I got from this. I believe I had already looted the whole structure. Well, all the easy enough to loot parts. So nothing too crazy from this, just a ton of XP. Next. Day 78, I took out an underwater dungeon and got some crazy cool loot. It was pretty nice. I got a few enchanted golden apples, and luckily enough, I got a shulker box, which, I mean, very useful for storing items, because I was running out of inventory room. And then on day 79, I took out another dungeon, and got a shulker box from that one as well, so I had 2 shulker boxes, which pretty epic, because I didn't even need to go to the end to get these. Next, from day 80 to 81, I explored the ocean and found a kingdom, and this isn't me exploring the ocean. Oh wait, no, I'm exploring a kingdom I found. Day 80 to 81, I explore a kingdom that I found. Nothing great from the loot there, to be honest, and I'm pretty sure they don't spawn with any librarians in the entire village. I looked for a while for it, and I fought a sea serpent from the rest of day 80 to 81, which was pretty fun. He died pretty easily. He got me low once or twice, but eventually I killed him. Also, I figured out that I could just barely outrun him while he was swimming, which was very funny. So now, I am the king of this sea. Now, on day 83, I started on a project that I don't finish in these 100 days, but I might finish if I do 200 days, which I won't do, because I died in this world during 200 days. By the way, narrating me, I already started 200 days, and sadly, I died and lost a lot of items, but, you know, we're gonna cut this out. I won't finish this project in these 100 days, sadly, but it is going to be a battle burrito farm, which is something you've never seen in any other 100 days RLCraft videos. Essentially, battle burritos are some of the most powerful foods, and you can actually farm all the mobs from Lycanike's mobs to go and breed them with mostly vegetables works. And I bring the Yetis that I found to a farm location, and I figured out that my rock can pick them up and just fly them over there, which is always nice because it means I don't need to do anything. I just need to go and hit X, just fly there and fly back, and I don't need to hold potatoes and make them walk there for 30 minutes because I couldn't find any of them near where I wanted my farm to be, except for like 100 something blocks away. Yeah, I get to fly there. And for the battle burrito farm, battle burrito's strongest food in RLCraft, you need RSO meat, which are the big broccoli looking creatures, and some maca meat. And some chupacabra, pinky, maca, yeti, RSO meat. And so for day 85, I go and create a massive hole near where the farm is supposed to be to try to get chupacabras to spawn there. Not this group, that's not who I want. But after taming chupacabras, you can breed them by having them like attack a mob together with something, or maybe two mobs. Anyways, there's a way to breed them. I actually don't figure it out in these 100 days, but I now have. Now on day 86, I managed to find a waypoint near where the farm is gonna be. So I used that waypoint and move all the animals over there. And I fight a dragon that was threatening my animals, so he had to be dealt with. It was kind of a pain to get him to fight me, but he kept trying to fly away to his mountain. But eventually, I killed him. And it wasn't too difficult. Now on day 87, I tamed one chupacabra for my farm and looked for another one, which I sadly couldn't find. I then called my Yetis near the waystone I found. Pretty easy. Now I have all my Yeti pen set up, at least for this farm. Now on day 88, I went to the dragon's den from the level 5 dragon I killed, because I remember there's a lot of chupacabras there, and tamed one chupacabra, and then I flew him multiple hundreds of blocks to my house and found a bunch of loot that I couldn't stop to loot in case anything killed my chupacabra, because I flew for a very long time to try and get it to where it was. But sadly, day 89, we got fried to death by a dragon that I did not even notice, but he somehow saw us. No clue how he found us, but sadly, I lost the chupacabra I'd been carrying for hundreds of blocks, so I just left. I wasn't in the mood to fight this dragon. He would have died anyways. But he was really mad. He chased me for a while until I got into the water, which, I mean, I just went at supersonic speeds. In day 90, I do more ocean exploring for crafting runes, and I fight the Loch Ness monster, who dies pretty easily. It was kind of an underwhelming fight, I'm not gonna lie. But I did get a decent bit of XP from it, and somehow start swimming while I'm paralyzed. No idea how that works, because I'm paralyzed, but you know, we get away. Day 91, I start the day mining coal and iron for a Geonash to spawn so I can take its arm because it's a powerful pickaxe, and I breed my Yetis to expand the farm. Then, later, I fight the Wither, which is not too difficult, but the explosions are really annoying and nearly blind you. It's annoying. And I try and shoot the Wither, which deflects an arrow back at me. On day 92, I hear a growling noise, so I go to investigate and find two chupacabras. One commits suicide while trying to kill me, but luckily the other one stays where it is, and I have a soul stone on me, so I can tame it after killing a weird gremlin creature that tries to attack me. On day 93, I cage off one Yeti to see if I can make my chupacabras breed. Sadly, it doesn't work. We'll try again later though. Maybe I need 2 animals, but I don't figure this out in these 100 days. So, there's a lot of failed attempts of working with chupacabras. Sadly. As to breed them, you need them to kill an animal, so... Day 94, I finally decide it's time to get an actually decent bow, so I get a dragon bone bow, or dragon bone strengthened long bow. It's a lot of words. And I enchant it with some nice powerful. So now I have an actually powerful bow, pretty epic. Day 95, I fight a dragon while looking for books for my bow. Then I cleared a Myrmex cave that was taking over the bottom of a desert temple I was gonna loot, which was kinda sad. On day 96, I explored the ocean for more runes, and then I get a port village thing spawned on me. I traded with a priest at the port village for ender pearls though, so it wasn't all bad. Port villages are just absolutely massive generated structures, and they're pretty useful. They have a lot of villagers in them, so you can get some good loot from them. Day 97, I test a few crafting runes, find the golem leggings and chestplate, then start looking for the stronghold for a final fight against the Ender Dragon. When I found the first stronghold, it got overrun by an underground zombie village thing, and I then waypoint away to get to the other side of the world to find another stronghold. It's not too difficult, as the place I waypoint to literally has a stronghold pretty close to it, but the stronghold also is under a mountain, so it takes me a while to figure out exactly where it comes from. So in day 98, I'm exploring to find the stronghold at the village I waypointed to, and I figure out the stronghold is pretty close to under the village. So I go and dig down in the mountain, and eventually I find it. And then from day 98 to 99, I fight the dragon, and here is the fight. It's pretty simple. I just zoom around, destroy every single crystal in my way, and then take out the dragon. It's not too difficult, but there was so many mobs on the ground and a bunch of Epians in the air, which is always a pain. Also, I didn't realize that you could pretty easily just go to the end to find the Epians, because they're decent flying mounts. So here is the rest of the fight. You can watch. Hope you enjoy. And finally, at the end of these 100 days, I tame a Zautar. I believe that's how you say it. Maybe Zawutar. I don't really know. But I tame one of them that wandered into my base. I think it might have spawned there, actually. Which, I probably should light that place up. I still don't. I still haven't. But I get my dragon treats and I tame it. And to end off the 100 days, I have a massive dinosaur as my pet. King of the dinosaurs and the world. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe and check out my other videos. See ya.